In Grimm Fairy Tales, Sela is dreaming as she lies with Eric, happier than ever. But Eric warns her she must keep who she is a secret as the Dark Horde is hunting her kind. They call children of Earth false bloods, whereas if you were born in a realm of power, you would be known as highborn. Now, some highborns follow the Dark One and they believe all humankind should be enslaved. But as Eric is outside chopping wood, he's visited by two men who work for the Dark One. Eric tells them to fuck off as he goes inside to collect Sela, but the two men decide to summon Eris. Now Eric tries to grab Sela, but it's too late as Eris busts inside the building and hit Eric in the mouth with his shield. Now Sela tries to run, but unfortunately Eris is on that ass. Now Sela wakes up to a dwarven man named Boulder that she met as he's packing his bags to join her on her quest, seeing as Sela is looking for a certain key. But as Boulder and Sela leave the cabin, they notice smoke rising from deep in the forest as a lot of forest animals are fleeing the area. Sela and Boulder arrive to a scene of orcs as they work for the Dark Horde and they seem to be laying waste to everything in front of them as they set fire to the forest. But as they're about to torch the last beehive, Sela grabs her weapon and mobilizes. The anger overtakes her faster than she could think about where it's coming from or why it's so strong. It consumes her. Now, as Sela and Boulder lay waste to the last of these orcs, Sela cuts down the last beehive and they proceed to flee the area. As Sela and Boulder ascend deeper into the forest, they come across a family that seems to be gathered around a fire, sharing a meal. Now, the man is hostile at first, as he thinks the two of them may be with the Dark Horde. But as the man confirms they're friendly, they all sit around the fire and share rumors about the Dark Horde's movements. Meanwhile, in another part of Mist, in the town of Linden, as the army of Orcus decimates the town, a man tries to flee the chaos, but unfortunately, he's grabbed by Pinocchio. Now, Pinocchio proceeds to mutilate and consume the man as Orcus looks at the carnage, thinking to himself his army is unstoppable. But one of his minions, Gruel, brings to him the body of one of his generals. As Orcus asks who could have done this, Gruel tells him it's the doing of the false blood Sela. But as Sela and Boulder make their way through the reeds, they come across a group of the Horde that seem to be taking pleasure in murdering the wildlife. Now, before the Horde can kill the last of these two ducks, Sela is enraged as she draws her weapon and enchants it with magical energies. Sela mutilates and violently beheads several of the Horde while blasting the others with lightning. As nothing but death lays in Sela's wake, she focuses on the duck that seems to be pierced with an arrow. With Sela's healing hands, she's able to return the duck to the realm of the living. Sela is overjoyed as her and Boulder watch the two ducks fly off into the sunset. But later, as Sela and Boulder make their way through the snowy mountain pass, they hear growling in the distance. Sela and Boulder trace the source of the growling to a wolf that seems to be all tied up. With no hesitation, Sela cuts the wolf free, but the wolf seems to be scared of something as the wolf immediately runs off into the forest. Sela and Boulder notice several creatures closing in on them as they find themselves surrounded by a horde of goblins as the Goblin Queen tells her pets, "Tonight they shall feast on human flesh." To be continued.